Do we count LEGO video games like the complete saga as movie video games? I'll wonder about that as I tell you about the Fantastic Four 2005 video game based on the FF movie of the same year. I loved that movie growing up and the game alongside it, but I recognize the power of nostalgia. So it's time to return 20 years later in honor of the new Fantastic Four movie and beat the 2005 Fantastic Four game without ever using cosmic power. Cosmic power is all the powerful abilities or true use of superpowers that would drain this blue bar here. There's only one exception to this rule, and that's the unavoidable interact minigames found throughout the game, as those are completely random on whether they will pull from the cosmic power bar or not. I can't stop my allies from using cosmic powers when I'm not in control of them, but they do very weak damage and they don't drain the cosmic power bar at all. With the Fantastic Four severely less fantastic, let's see how many classic Fantastic Foes we can clobber. The best way to tell a story is to start at the end, then go back to the beginning as the characters remember how they got this far, a storytelling tactic that this game learned from Megamind, even though Megamind came out 5 years later. It's a genius move by them to invent time travel solely for that reason. It allows me to play as Ben Grimm as he heads out to secure the shields against the Cosmic Storm. That is, unless Johnny Storm tells me,
"Don't float away on us, buddy."
Then in honor of Ben's and Johnny's friendly-ish rivalry, it's dying by spite time. But should I resist the call of the void, Ben discovers this peaceful spacewalk is anything but peaceful. We're bathed in cosmic radiation, but it's the fun kind of cosmic radiation that gives everyone cool powers. Reed Richards now has the power to stretch his body into any shape, no matter how horrifying that is to witness. Between that and my outburst destroying all the hospital equipment, it's little wonder that the robot security attacks me. Thankfully, my new abilities can make light work of the robots, so I can go back to terrorizing the other patients. Only for a little though, before the robots try to take advantage of their flight abilities to force me to stretch out and punch them. Something that would take cosmic power to do. Cosmic power, or potted plants nobly sacrificing themselves so I can eliminate the robot menaces. While Reed searches for Sue, Johnny will proceed to burn down as much of the hospital as he can. Johnny is by far the weakest of the four in regular combat. I find it difficult to land strikes with his heavy hits, and his light combos barely do anything, so I'm glad he can still light up these poorly placed gas tanks aflame by hitting them normally. Even better that Doom programmed his security robots without an ounce of brain power. Still, for a hospital, healing is surprisingly rare to come across, and that may be because breaking the medical machines to get healing is not a sustainable medicine practice, but it's all I can do. As for the Invisible Woman, this playthrough, she shall be known as the Woman, because any use of invisibility will cost cosmic power. But who needs cosmic power when Sue is a master martial artist and breaks robots like they're breaking a toothpick, albeit with more flair? Susie is also the only Fantastic Four member that needs to use cosmic power to lift up objects, which I don't quite get, since Reed is definitely not using his normal hands any more than she is to lift things. But so be it, no lifting with her. Even more confusing, somehow using Sue's block, the absolute best defense in the whole game, doesn't cost cosmic power though, but I won't complain in this case. I'll save the complaints for a moment later after all the robots are beaten, as the game forces me to tap into cosmic power to shield Reed so he can pass through this force field and hack our way out of here. It beats being stuck in this hospital for all time, I suppose, or watching one of the smartest minds ever bash his head repeatedly against the problem without success. But it does count against the challenge. Not fantastic. But we do get the reward of the best thing of all. It's clobbering time! Unless an extra big robot comes in, then it's having a conversation with the rest of the Fantastic Four about not wanting them to see Ben in his new form, but wrenching open the door anyway so they can join him, all while the security robot looks on politely time. That one doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily. Then back to clobbering time! The Thing is truly the best of the four at withstanding punishment and easily laying out the enemies with his robot wrecking strikes. The big one does hit like a truck, forcing me to play it slowly and run away, but I'm not always fast enough, costing me my first true death of the game. Minus the floating off into space, that is. But with 3 lives per level, I can pick myself back up, wipe off the dust, and get clobbering, needing to bring the robot boss only to half health so Ben can redecorate the room with him. Instead of celebrating being one of the coolest characters around, Ben struggles with his new form, and he takes off into the wilderness, allowing movie magic to bring him right to New York City, where he immediately gets to slaughtering the Yancey Street gang in order to protect Alicia, his future love. And I do mean slaughter, because slamming them into the street ripping fire escapes out from under them or onto them, chucking cars at them, and bringing down a whole building on them, I do believe the thing has just committed mass murder. Yes sirree, he was really running circles around them, and there was nothing they can do about it. Unless this gang, which seems to consist of literally every single resident of Yancey Street, all decide to join with their boss in attacking Ben at the exact same time. I'm supposed to tap into super mode, which would make me invincible and able to dish out lots of damage according to the tip, but even though I don't think it will pull from cosmic power, it feels in essence the same as cosmic power, and so I refuse to make use of it. Which is why Aunt Petunia's poor little nephew Benjamin drops like a brick under the gang's relentless strikes. But by the time they drop this rock, most of them were down for the count, and since Ben won't stay down, the rest can be clobbered easy like, leaving their boss to handle me alone. All I gots to do is hold block, get one combo in, and repeat till Alicia is safe and sound. At which point, Ben learns to fly and takes off into the stars. I gotta stop him before the Hulk finds out Ben's stealing his job demolishing the city. And also before any more civilians are killed, though I guess that's more the National Guard's fault, really, for firing on him around so many people. You could blame me as well, as I reset upon discovering saving these falling people will cost Reed cosmic power, and instead I let them find their own way down, even if it's a tad less comfortable. It's really not that high up, so I'm sure they're okay-ish. But let's skedaddle before anyone notices we were here. Hopefully, when the FF join together to use their powers to save this fire truck from toppling off a bridge, the people will forgive us our occasional thoughtless rampage. And also, forgive us for leaving those other civilians on the bridge to burn, because I didn't want to use more cosmic power to shield them from the flames. So far, I think we may have done more harm than help, but the people are cheering, so if they haven't done the math on this, then why worry? Now time for one of my favorite villains to show up, Mole Man. An articulate individual would explain in detail why Mole Man is such a fun villain to see, but I go with the Marge Simpson approach.
I just think they're neat.
Mole Man is menacing Grand Central Station in one of his classic take over the surface world schemes, so Reed and Ben get to popping his moloids like zits, and look who it is, Alicia, in danger once again. She can tank strikes better than even the Thing can, and while I'd be tempted to make her part of the Fantastic Four, we'd have to redesign all the merch to be 5, and that's just too much work, so it's better to just rescue her and get out of here quick. If the Crusher will let us leave, that is. If I was Ben, I'd have been wishing I chose that name over the Thing, but then where would the world be 60 years later without all the "here's the Thing" jokes? Using the boss's weakness of having a bad back, a weakness I can sympathize with, I can easily best the beast and enjoy a good day's work while Reed makes sure there are no witnesses left to tell the tale. Only for Mole Man to decide it would be fun to recreate the cover of Fantastic Four issue 1 and release his Mole Oaf upon us. I hate to call the big lizard an oaf, for perhaps that's the kind of negative reinforcement that leads to destroying a city. But admittedly, he's not the brightest, as he consistently gets his claws stuck in the street, making it easy to lock them down with Sue's shields and clobber the stuck giant. Though really, that's more Mole Man's fault for not properly trimming his large pet's claws and being an improper pet owner, so frankly, he deserves this loss. I guess the lesson of the day is if you don't care for your pets properly, you'll never achieve world domination. After such a crazy time in the city, it's time for a vacation in the jungle as we hunt for meteorites with cosmic energy in the Fantastic Four's quest to cure the Thing of being the Thing. One other key ingredient we're missing in our quest to cure Ben is a living Ben. It is so easy to be overwhelmed by the spiders roaming this jungle, the stone warriors reanimated to life by the alchemist Diablo, and the easily avoidable traps that I still fail to avoid. These blunders mean my first true game over, restarting the level entirely, but I better get used to it, as even though I can make use of the Thing's mighty durability and strength to survive, or Reed's speed to avoid getting bogged down by the stone warriors, Totally Visible Woman's turn is anything but fantastic. Diablo's name is really fitting because this certainly feels like hell being trapped in these ruins full of cosmic empowered spiders. Sue is a strong fighter, and no one beats her shielding, but she doesn't yet have much power in terms of area attacking, making her very susceptible to missing her attacks and getting overwhelmed by the extremely deadly Mama Spider. And the only way to get to this Mama Spider is by first breaking this stone avatar that can keep resurrecting itself as long as this durable magic plaque is intact. To break that, I need to kill the creature at least 3 times over, usually. So I have enough time to pummel the wall, and that's not easy when every attack the enemy makes will send me flying. Susie's shield can withstand any strike from the Avatar, but I can't actually attack safely, except for the very small windows of opportunity when the Avatar tries to magically blast me. I better get used to this situation, because even though I can jump past all the spike traps and light traps in my way, that mama spider wallops me with every melee hit or webs me stuck when I'm not in range, leading to game over after game over. To get this far in our story only took about an hour and a half, but this level alone with Susie takes an hour to beat as that spider always halts me. The most powerful Fantastic Four member against one oversized spider, and yet I'm hopeless. But practice means I lose less and less health before Mama Spider, and now I know how to block her webs and spam my whirl combo, hoping to hit her and get away before she lunges at me. It's not the most well-tuned tactic, but it does yield success, even though I always lose a life or two. Only to get beaten down at the last moment by the final members of Diablo's Stone Guard and his irksome firebombs. But again, I triumph, this time over both the spiders and the Stone Guards. Only to accidentally jump right into some spikes in the final room out of here and have to restart. Yay! But despite losing all but one of my lives on the next try, this time I'm not so precariously close to death, nor do I stumble into more spikes, freeing myself of this evil and giving me my shot at Diablo. It is most definitely clobbering time now. Diablo spends most of the fight portaling around and chucking his potions at us, occasionally turning himself into a dangerous stone golem, because sure, why not? But all I have to do is avoid him in that form, chase him down every other second, and then Diablo is no longer our trouble. Doom's unveiling a new Egyptian exhibit at the museum, and Alicia's stepfather, Puppet Master, decides this would be a great time to turn the whole place into a trap to kill us all. I'd have preferred we just watch the mummy together and work out our differences, but fighting off mummies and dinosaurs brought to life works too, I guess. Rotting corpses aren't a problem to turn to dust, but the dinosaurs are actually extremely dangerous, and if I don't keep them stun-locked with my heavy attacks, Reed's gonna be a dino true toy. Still, heavy attacks to the rescue, and the Thing only has to worry about keeping this woman in red alive. Something that's unexpectedly difficult when the Jackal Warriors decide it's their turn to keep me stun-locked while they bash through my health. Which I still would have come back from if the woman didn't decide to face tank their blows instead of moving just slightly away. Very brave, but extremely foolish. No, just foolish. Oh well, second time's the charm, and I can keep from getting stunned by using my ground clobber combo to smash the ground near the enemy, not letting them close enough to hurt me or the woman. Reed comes to the genius conclusion that their cosmic powers somehow made this all happen, instead of anyone noticing the Puppet Master monologuing his way out of here.
Next time, fantastic fools, the Puppet Master will not fail.
I love that despite his threats, he never appears again. And more than that, I'm committed for the rest of my life to leaving every room the same way as he just did. All that for Nick Fury to arrest us, dumping us into an underground Supermax prison. Just for that prison to go haywire as Dragon Man stages a riot, and it's up to us to quell it. If I can even get from room to room anyway, as the cameras won't let me pass if they catch sight of me. Who needs invisibility though, when the doors will automatically reopen whenever not inside of the camera? Which is the worst security idea, as it means if I'm fast enough, I can jump through each set of security droids, sometimes after many tries, before they can shut on me. No wonder supervillains are breaking out all the time if the security here is this easy to bypass. Fighting through the prison is mostly simple, now that I have a wide range of combos available to me, though usually I only need to spam this one that does both strong damage and good area of effect to make the most of my fighting. Yay for Invisible Woman! It makes recapturing the criminals a breeze, so simple and so fast that I'm not even sure the criminals themselves realize yet they've been recaptured. Or in the case of supervillain Blastar, hit them so hard that they phase out of reality mid-takedown. He now has more of a right to the title Invisible Woman than Sue does. Dragon Man can't handle the level of damage we put out, but even though we stopped a prison riot for him, Nick Fury won't let us go so easily. First, we must venture into this universe's version of the Negative Zone and fight off a lot of robot spiders because this game really loves its spiders. The fighting is considerably harder here as I'm easily overwhelmed and interrupted, but my tactic of ground bashing remains the same, clearing the way forward. The only problem is discovering the way forward means tapping into Reed's stretchy cosmic powers to punch down 3 bridges for us to cross. Trust me when I say I can't tap into that flying jump ability Ben displayed way earlier in the game, and I definitely did try. Accepting the L, I knock down the bridges and confront Annihilus, villain of this land, and thankfully, between his relentless attacks and spiders, I'm not given much chance to fight back, easily succumbing to my wounds. I'm thankful because it gives me a chance to undo my mistakes knocking down the bridges with cosmic power when I discover that Ben's combo ground smash leaves such a powerful seismic quake that it can defy the fact that there's no ground between me and the bridges, traveling across the air and knocking down the bridges, no Mr. Fantastic needed. With that happy discovery boosting my morale, I take on Annihilus again, but still he refuses to let me do much, easily ripping 2 lives away from me. I can see why they call him Annihilus. I strive to do what he's doing to me, chaining my combos back to back, not leaving him much room to counter until he finally flees the scene. Now that Nick Fury is willing to let us go, we hightail it back to our old space station before Fury can change his mind. We're here for more parts to cure ourselves, but really, that's just an excuse to clobber. In order to self-destruct the station, I'll need to shut off 3 rooms of security full of murderous bugs and plants. You see, this is why Dr. Doofenshmirtz made the self-destruct switches all so easy to reach, to avoid problems like this. The creatures aren't much worry in themselves, but the real worry is to shut down the shields. I need to break 3 generators, each of which are shielded whenever I'm in melee proximity. Reed's stretchiness is disappointingly not up to the task without tapping into cosmic power, but I won't be beaten so easily. Resetting once to ensure I have enough throwables, I can very slowly carry throwable objects from the other rooms, using 2 throwables per generator to break each one, having just enough items to throw in order to win. It takes me triple the time the level would normally take, and it really destroys my future dreams of becoming the Fantastic Four moving company with how tedious it is, but it is doable. Just for Doom to show up at home and trick the thing into the machine that will turn Ben back to human. Sure, it's been our goal this entire time, but I would think the endless brushes with death would serve as clear examples as to why we need the thing, especially with Doom in the middle of trying to kill us. Plus, the Fantastic 3 just doesn't sound as good. Here's where I'm stuck tapping back into cosmic power for the 2nd time in order to shield my way through our security's own force fields. I can't outrun them activating, or try to inch my way through with Sue's block, so just like the first time, these force fields leave me no choice. As it turns out, Doom is a pushover, easily getting winded between his attacks, making it simple to best him. But you know, that just brings us back to the start, as we find the 3 still-powered heroes overwhelmed by Doom and depowered Ben wondering how he got here. Are you serious, Ben? We literally just spent all this time answering that. You're just gonna have to stay confused, because I'm not answering that again. Unless you want to rewind, I suppose. It's definitely not clobbering time. It's time for Ben to try and face the killer robots in his human form. That goes about as well as you'd expect. But we've learned the value of rampant destruction and the robots' lack of understanding that fire is bad for them, making easy work of them until Ben can get back in the chamber and reverse his transformation. It's clobbering time now! Nope, wait, sorry, it's dying time. Not quite the comeback I imagined, but 2nd time's the charm with enough ground pounding. Who needs 4 when you got 1 as fantastic as the Thing, easily clobbering Doom all over the building? But perhaps there's a good reason this isn't a solo hero gig, because Doom really does pack a punch with his lightning powers, making it very difficult to fight back. Still, what doesn't work once may very well work the next, because clobbering without thought or variety is sort of my whole plan, so I'm sure glad it works out, even if just barely. Only for once again Cinematic Doom to get the upper hand. How many times am I gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man? Now that the 4 are reunited again, Doom isn't a match for us. There's nothing clever about this fight, just straight up clobbering till the prompts appear to first supernova Doom, shield everyone else from the heat, and then cover him with water, rapidly cooling him into being New York's newest statue. I'm sure the pigeons will appreciate it, even if Doom doesn't. Huzzah! After 7 hours, 4 minutes, and 94 deaths with 2 forced uses of cosmic powers to pass those cursed force fields, the Fantastic Four has beaten most of their 2005 game without cosmic powers. At least, no cosmic powers in combat. The game doesn't hold up well graphically, like the older 2003 TMNT game that chose to go for style over realism, and the combat can be a bit janky at points, but very few games lend us the opportunity to experience so many of the Fantastic Four villains from the comics, and that's pretty fantastic in itself. Now I'm off to continue my reading of the Fantastic Four comics, so my nerd knowledge can quadruple by the next time we meet. Thank you all for watching, and I truly hope you have a, well, I think you can guess the adjective I'm thinking of, day. Excelsior, friends!